Hi guys, welcome back to Generational Power. I'm Jane and today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit on an update in what's going on in education. Today the 2020 SAT scores were released. The trend lines for the scores fell in every group except for Asians. And if you have been following me on my blog at genpower.substack.com, you know that I've talked about what a con it is to go to university and how more and more schools are dropping the requirement for an SAT to get into university, which, people say that the SATs isn't a good measure of, intelligence, and other kids that are more privileged, who have more resources, can do better, which they are correct about, but there needs to be some standard that universities are understanding that students are capable at. That's the point of the entrance exams, and more when colleges, I think it was University of North Carolina, started removing SAT requirements from their admissions. They were trying to accept more students because enrollment was down, and on average the students that they admitted with no SAT scores typically weren't ready for college level anything. Math, science, reading, doesn't matter. And were more likely to drop out of school, which means they incur debt the first year, $40,000 or so, to get an education they weren't prepared for, that now they have to pay debt off for. And most of these universities as well report that they accept students knowing that they won't be able to complete their college education in 4 years. Now they accept more students because it's literally a business. They need the enrollment, they need the money, but students aren't graduating in 4 years anymore. On average, it's closer to 4.5 or even up to 6 years. In my previous videos, I've also talked about how kids in the United States especially have not improved in reading or math since 2000, 2003. I think this is a key indicator for it, especially since they've been on a decline basically since 2006. All other students except for Asians, this is men, women, white, black, Asian, native, Hispanic, other race, no response. Overall, American students have been doing far worse than Asian students. Unless it's the parent mentality, the tiger mom mentality, that makes them do so well. But honestly, with the high school graduation rates in some places ranging from 60, maybe 70% graduation rate, we have to really consider if we're even sending kids off to college for these expensive degrees, if they're really even prepared for it. And it looks more and more like the answer is no, and colleges know it, which is why they're trying to get rid of the SATs. I have tutored and I have taught kids, given them advice to get into medical school, and I tell them all the same thing. Don't go to college. Don't take SATs because they won't transfer over most of the time. Go to your local community college and take courses there. Another update in terms of education, a lot of graduate schools are shutting down admissions. My partner sent me this thing that said that Brown is decreased. They paused their student admissions for their economics degree at Brown for 2021. Maybe this is because they can't get enough kids to go. Maybe because they know that it is actually not worth paying for a graduate degree in this kind of economy. People say to go back to school when there's a crisis, but they see more and more that graduate degrees aren't actually teaching them the things that they need to know on the job. So they completely eliminated their enrollment for 2021. I think that's a smart decision, because if kids are paying still full price and they're not getting the same quality education, at least what you could do is give them a refund. But I'm more optimistic. I hope that they're canceling their enrollment because they see that it's fraudulent and it's not worth the value. Other people think that it's because, you know, they already had such a low like applications that they were just like, okay, like we might as well not even have them for next year. So that's pretty much our education update. We're going to pretty much, I think as soon as next week, start homeschooling our son, who is a freshman in high school, and we're mostly going to focus on math, reading, and history. So let me know what you guys think about this, and it'll be also interesting to see how this pandemic affects people in terms of their SAT scores. Not that it really matters, but definitely the incentives to go to school for the future are pretty grim. So I hope colleges figure it out. Okay, bye you guys. See you tomorrow.